And there are many others in this community who've done great things. And I also want to thank, Ayan mentioned the work that we did. My brother over there in the corner, Brother Abdurrashid, who's a very good friend who helped me working with Sanubai to build up a campaign with the community on the remittance issues that was affecting both the Somali community and the Bangladeshi community and others who were trying to send money to their countries of origin, and especially at the time of the East African famine. And this is where the community really came together, and it showed how we can be strong together, working across communities. And so, for me, I've always been influenced by the way the community, Somali community, has always been there with me through really tough times as a parliamentary candidate, along with other communities in my constituency, and then when I got elected. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the support you've always given me and all the work that you've done to support all of us as representatives here in Tower Hamlets. And I know one of my colleagues from the councils here, who needs no introduction, Councillor Sharaj, who's been a good friend of the community, and many others. You have many others in this community who are your friends, your supporters, both at the parliamentary level. My neighbouring colleague Afsana Begum was also supportive of the early day motion that was signed before Christmas. And so you've got a wealth of support in Parliament as well as in councils up and down the country. So I hope that gives you confidence that we are with you. And I know there have been many challenges, especially during the pandemic. The Somali community, along with other minority communities, have been hit very hard by the pandemic. Higher death rates, much bigger challenges. And we have been doing everything we can to support each other. And I want to thank everyone for all the efforts that people made to protect and support each other. And if you haven't been vaccinated, please make sure you do and encourage others, because take-up is still, there is still an issue with take-up. We're still not out of danger. And in our communities, in the Bangladeshi community, in the Somali community, there was much higher death rate. So I wanted to get those messages across to you first and foremost. Messages of thanks and gratitude for everything that I've had the benefits of from within the community. The debate that Gavin Williamson managed to secure, and I commend him for doing that. There are certain areas where all of us work across parties when we can. It was great because it was longer than half an hour. Normally adjournment debates are very short. So we were very pleased that day the House business ended earlier, and that gave me the opportunity to make more interventions than I would have been able to. And I felt, it was really important to show solidarity with the community here in my constituency and the wider country who passionately believe in the right to self-determination. And as someone of British Bangladeshi heritage, as someone whose parents and grandparents struggled for independence, I understand very importantly the importance of self-determination. But of course we want to see that happen peacefully. My country of origin was formed out of a bloody war. Nobody wants conflict. Nobody wants instability. We want partnership and peace. And that's the spirit in which my messages were there set out in that debate, and the messages from our colleagues. So I don't want to keep you from your dinner, but I want to say that I very much hope to visit Somaliland. Unfortunately, I missed the last opportunity to visit with the all-party group that I'm a member of because it clashed with another overseas visit. But I hope as things open up, I'll have the opportunity to visit, and I hope that some of you will be there when I'm there. I was really touched by the reception that we saw, my colleagues and I saw, in Somaliland after the debate. We never really know when we are having debates in Parliament, raising our voice. We never know how much of an impact what we say might make. And that reminds us, of course, the responsibility of making sure that what we say is beneficial, as in the spirit of peace and stability and supporting those who need our support. So it was wonderful to see that. But also it was wonderful to see the confidence that it gave the British Somali community. It's very important that you know we are with you. And, you know, I am for all the different communities I represent in my constituency. And as Ayan mentioned, I also campaign on the humanitarian side for those not only in Somaliland, but also in wider Somalia. Because for me it's really important, and I know the Somaliland community feel the same, that we protect our brothers and sisters, regardless of national boundaries and certain geographical differences, historic differences, and the pain that you've suffered that has been cited. We know that. We know that, and I understand how important reconciliation is, how important fellowship is. So it's in that spirit that we've got to go forward and make sure that you can achieve the recognition that Somaliland deserves, and self-determination. But that's in the spirit of partnership and friendship. And so, if you will indulge me, I wanted to just read out the early day motion that we put forward to Parliament, that a number of my colleagues across different parties have supported, and I hope others will too. And then I will conclude. The early day motion states that this House joins the people of Somaliland in celebrating 30 years since its declaration of independence from the Somali Democratic Republic, recognises and supports that de facto state's commitment to human rights and free elections, notes that the Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization regards Somaliland as a defined territory with a permanent population and capacity to enter into relations with other states. Further notes that state in waiting possesses its own currency, flag, parliament and national identity, and calls on the government, UK government, to respect Somaliland's demand for self-determination and recognise its independence. That this House notes the strong historic ties between Somaliland and the United Kingdom, congratulates the people of Somaliland on the 59th anniversary of Somaliland's independence as a British protectorate, recognises the 1991 Declaration of Independence from Somalia, applauds the cities and boroughs across the UK, including Cardiff, Sheffield, Tower Hamlets, yes. Tower Hamlets and Birmingham, that recognise Somaliland as independent, believes that the common interests of the UK and Somaliland in the region will be advanced by continued close cooperation, welcomes the strong cooperation between the UK government and Somaliland through development aid, help in sustaining democratic institutions and promoting trade and business relationships in Somaliland, encourages the UK government to urge the Somalia government to refrain from politicising humanitarian economic development, recognises the importance of the historic visit of the all-party parliamentary group of Somaliland to Hargeisa in 2018 in building positive relationships. That's the one I couldn't make. I'm gutted about that. Calls on the UK government to formally recognise Somaliland as an independent state and to take steps to encourage dialogue with other international partners, the government of Somalia and the African Union, to help bring about a peaceful and lasting settlement in the region based on the self-determination of the people of Somaliland. So I hope that, and it ends there, so I hope you can see that there's a great commitment from a number of colleagues to your endeavours, and that we build on those alliances. And, you know, I just want to end by saying it's really vital that we do that in a way that promotes peace and stability. And that's the spirit in which I know everybody has been campaigning. And as you've already heard, you know, it's very important to keep the dialogue with your members of parliament, with your councillors, with your mayors, with your council leaders, not only on this very important issue, but also on local issues, because I know that the British Somali community has faced huge challenges, and it's really important that public services deliver for you, and that we ensure that the needs of the community are recognised. And so I know that our mayor here in Tower Hamlets and our councillors will be, that's one group. Another group, Tower Hamlets recognises Somaliland. It's very important, of course, that you get the help and support you need from the council. So you've got a lot of friends in the council as well as in Parliament. Thank you so much for everything you've done.